Welcome to the Magnet Pool, where we dive into Miami-Dade's most innovative and creative magnet programs that truly makes Miami-Dade County Public Schools your best choice in education. I'm your host, Dr. Magda Castro Pereira, Administrative Director in the Office of School Choice and Parental Options. And today we will explore two standout schools, Barbara Goleman and Southwest Miami Senior High Schools, which both offer dynamic magnet experiences that equip our students with real-world skills and career-ready pathways. At Barbara Goleman, students have access to mega magnet experiences, which means that they can explore specialized programs in an array of settings and themes while still enjoying a traditional experience in high school, which makes these years for our students truly unforgettable. Joining us today from Barbara Goleman, we have Laura Diaz-Rodriguez, a 20-year educator who has led Barbara Goleman's magnet programs through its transformation. Meanwhile, at Southwest Miami Senior High School, students can take their education really to the very next level with business and finance and informational technology and digital designs. In most recent years, the school has expanded its magnet offerings to include artificial intelligence and data science programs, providing students really the access to these emerging technological and future-focused learning. And here to share how Southwest is truly preparing our students for the future is Principal George Bulnes, also a proud alumnus of Southwest, and Mary Davidson, business and finance lead teacher, who also is not only an alumni of Southwest, but also a magnet teacher of the year. So welcome to each and every one of you. It's exciting to have you here in today's episode. Laura, I'm going to talk to you a little bit first, and let's talk about what makes Barbara Goleman that mega magnet for our students.
Okay, absolutely. Okay, so Barbara Goleman, our Mega Magnet experience, is designed to give students an education that blends both academics and traditional high school values. So we have an 8 different magnet programs that are STEM focused. I have an AP capstone and a STEM AP capstone. I have the informational technologies, or IT and cybersecurity. Then we have financial technologies, digital marketing, and then forensic science and a law enforcement program. Those are STEM-focused career pathways that are going to allow students to explore their passions and gain hands-on experience and also obtain industry certification. What truly sets us apart is this hands-on learning approach. Students don't just study these concepts. They actually apply them in meaningful ways through internships, real-world projects, opportunities to earn college credits through AP courses, dual enrollment, and industry certifications. Even as that mega magnet, we do maintain that full high school experience, and that's what makes us different, because we have athletics, clubs, and traditions, which ensure that students don't have to choose between being in a full magnet environment or a full traditional environment, or academic rigor and enriching student life. And at the core of everything we do is our mission, that 100% of what we do is about our students 100% of the time.
And that's absolutely great, because high school is such an amazing 4 years, right? When we as adults, right? And I tell my kids this all the time, but when we think back to our education, we automatically go to high school, right? That's what you truly remember. So Laura, can you elaborate a little bit more? Because that mega magnet, I mean, that sounds huge, right? You offer a plethora, right, of opportunities, of programs for our students, but how do they really get that fully traditional experience as well, right? Because having so many programs, right, students are kind of like isolated in different programs, but then they come together for many things. So can you elaborate a little bit more on where is that student experience that really draws the students to you?
Absolutely. I'm going to date myself a little bit. At Barbara Goleman, we're kind of like Hannah Montana. We offer the best of both worlds. We have
That's great.
Cutting edge
That's
career
awesome.
pathways, but we also have that traditional high school experience. In the terms of athletics, we have We cover all girls and boys athletics, the student life and traditions. We've got homecomings, pep rallies, proms, senior activities, spirit weeks. Those are the things that I remember from high school and that make high school unforgettable. We also have clubs and leadership opportunities. We have National Honor Society, student government, cultural and service organizations, Key Club, DECA, FBLA, so that they can build these leadership skills and also form these lifelong friendships. And the other thing that we do is that we have a very vibrant social environment. So unlike smaller specialized schools, because Barbara Goleman is I want to say the largest or one of the largest magnets in Miami-Dade County with almost 3,000 students, we do keep it small in the sense that we have dynamic, diverse setting where there's always an activity and there's always something fun and engaging. And at the same time, our Mega Magnet programs amplify this because it allows them to explore careers in law, cyber, forensics, digital. And then we don't ask them to choose. It's not like you've got to go hardcore and you're going to prepare only for college and career. No, you're also going to have the high school experience that's going to follow you for the rest of your life. You get both because their future is our mission.
Exactly. And George, let's talk about Southwest a little bit, right? So Southwest Miami has a long-standing tradition of excellence, and you know that firsthand as being the principal and the alumni, right? So how does your magnet programs, how have they evolved and really transcended the student experience, right, to that legacy of excellence?
Absolutely, and great question. I think that a testimony of where Southwest Senior High School is right now is enrollment. In a day and age when enrollment is so difficult due to the options, parents have choices. And unlike when I went to school, that based on your zip code, you knew that you were going from point A to point B to point C. Now parents have choices. They have opportunity. At Southwest Senior High School, we offer so much, specifically with our magnets, and I'm sure we'll talk to Ms. Davidson in a few minutes. We have our business and finance. Our newest, most cutting edge magnet is that of artificial intelligence. I can't wait to dive in so I can talk a little bit about the amazing classroom setting, as is with Ms. Davidson. When you walk in and you see the engagement and the investment, I think long gone are the days of, again, dating myself, as Laura mentioned, there was a lot of lecturing that took place. There was a lot of lecture. There was a traditional chalkboard, overhead projector. Now you need to really be animated. You need to be engaging. You need to incorporate technology because it's at the fingertips of all of our students.
Yes. And we're definitely going to dive right into that. But just to piggyback on what you said, that technology is so the immersion is here, right? The students, they're teaching us how to use these tools, right? So we have to just make sure, right, that we provide them and that we use them correctly, right, ethically, just to ensure that it enhances the learning experience for the students and being used as a tool to not only for the students' learning experience, but also for the teachers, because it's beneficial for teachers as well. And we're going to dive right into that. But let's talk a little bit about when the students graduate, Laura, from Barbara Goleman. With such an array of magnet programs that you offer, what do they graduate with? Because a lot of our programs in middle school and high schools, in our magnet schools, offer CTE, right? They're career technical education programs, which offer our students an array of different options, right? Whether you're going to college or careers, right? Pathways, once you graduate, there is a benefit that students can graduate from our schools taking all of these courses and being completers, right? Program completers in these programs. So can you elaborate a little bit about that, Laura? Because you have many of them.
We do. Actually, all of our programs focus on that. So at Barbara Goleman, you're going to graduate with more than just a diploma. You're going to leave with industry certifications, college credits, hands-on experience, and it does set them apart. When we talk about college readiness and academics excellence, we do offer the traditional. We offer 26 AP courses, over 15 dual enrollment courses, and ours are a little bit different. We offer them in-house. Students don't leave our building to take their dual enrollment credits. They're done in our house, and that allows us to help them earn college credits, but also keep the traditional high school feel within the magnet. 10 students this year alone are going to be graduating with their AA. That means that they're graduating with 60 college credits before they even start university. What you were alluding to with the industry certifications, 97% of our students will complete and pass either an AP course, a dual enrollment, or an industry certification, multiple of them usually, but at least one by the time they graduate. That's going to give them that competitive edge. So our students do excel at all levels, even at the highest. Right now, I know that we just found out we have 3 Questbridge scholars headed to Northwestern, Brown, Notre Dame. We've got a national merit finalist, which is a really big deal in Dade County, and a Posse scholar who's going to Franklin and Marshall.
That's great.
Really cool is the blend of academics, art, and athletics. So when we talk about bridging it and taking it a little bit further, student athletes, we have student athletes that are receiving academic and athletic scholarships, which is a rare combination in a magnet school. Additionally, we have over 20% of our band students. That's one thing that we don't talk about because we have traditional aspect. We have one of the largest bands that's led by Zachary Chambers. Is an unbelievable band. He's a FAMU alumni. He's a master French horn player. Over 20% of our students earn music scholarships. So that actually adds to our fine arts program, which isn't a focus because of STEM, but we're able to enrich because we're the traditional high school.
Yeah, and that, now that you touched upon arts is so important in education, and our students love to learn. And what do? They listen to music, right? Whether it's background music, but I think it's a universal language, and I think that it motivates the students, right? Especially our high school students that are so immersed in the music industry, and the arts is a twist. The arts motivates the students. So incorporating that to actually build that traditional high school, because yes, you are a district-wide magnet, right? So it's really hard to build that, but it's great that you're incorporating arts as well. And both of your schools are 8-period days, which really lends itself to not only have these amazing array of programs in both of your schools, right? But also affords students an opportunity to cross amongst different programs, right?
Absolutely.
And I think that's super important, and ultimately graduate with great things and creating that smooth transition, right? From high school, right? K-12 to post-secondary or careers or even college or universities, right? So it's amazing. So Mary, I'm going to tap onto you because Southwest is well known for its business and finance program. And it's an amazing magnet program. And I've been there and seen your classrooms. And it's so true, George, what you said about the long are the days where the students are sitting in rows and the teacher is in the front of the classroom lecturing, right? When I walk into that class, it is all collaborative learning. It's problem solving, it's critical thinking, right? So can you talk to us a little bit about how do we prepare our students for that industry, right? That it's so impactful in today's world and ever changing, right?
Sure. So we really do pride ourselves in trying to make sure that we expose our students as much to industry leaders. So we have them coming into our classrooms. This year alone, we had the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission.
Wow.
We have ICV partners coming in weekly to work with our students on a student-managed investment fund. And yearly, we take our students to New York so that way they can actually experience the heart of the finance world. They get to enter firms like Morgan Stanley, BNY Mellon. In the past, we've even been able to take them to the New York Stock Exchange floor. So we do believe that exposing them to the industry and to professionals that are in these careers really helps open their eyes and helps them understand, is this a career that I can actually see myself doing in the future? And thankfully with business and finance, even if you don't see yourself working directly in the finance world, it's skills that no matter what career you do in the future, you're going to have to manage your own personal finances.
Absolutely.
If you want to be a doctor, you might own your practice one day. So there's there's a lot of ways that the curriculum is infused into various.
It's funny that you tap into that because I ask myself, do students know how to balance a checkbook? I mean, in today's world,
In our program, they do.
I'm sure they do. And I'm sure they use a technology tool in order to do it. But like, really, I mean, that was a skill that we learned when we went to school, and probably I'm aging myself, but it's great to see that we have these programs like you have at Southwest where you are teaching that, which is critical, because even if they have their own business or in their own home, they have to create a budget and live by the means of that budget, right? And when they go to college, they have to do the same thing. So those are skills that I don't think a lot of our schools teach, right? We leave it really to the home to teach it, but I think it's beneficial, right, that we offer that fiscal responsibility education, right, across all students, right, so they can be fiscally responsible. So Mary, you talked a little bit about that real world experience and bringing those partners, and partners are so important for the sustainability of our magnet programs, right? And tell us a little bit about those industry certifications and the benefits that they have also when they leave your programs in banking and finance.
Definitely. So in our program, they are able to get industry certifications. One in particular that we love is the entrepreneurship and small business certification. So this is a line that's already going on, college applications, their resume. It's something that they can talk about in an interview when they're applying for jobs while they're in high school and once they are applying for jobs in their career choice of the future. And not only do we offer industry certifications, but in our program, we also have dual enrollment opportunities. One with the University of Pennsylvania, and which last year we actually had a senior graduate and get a full ride scholarship through Questbridge to attend the Wharton School of Business, and she's thriving there.
Wow.
So those industry certifications, those dual enrollment opportunities, it's just what helps our students graduate and really stand out.
And market themselves, right? Let's be real, right? In today's ever evolving technology world, right? The more soft skills you have and the more knowledge you have that you can acquire, right? Let's just call it what it is. Free tuition here in Miami-Dade County Public Schools, your best choice, right? And we offer a program for every single student that they're able to get those skills and cultivate, right? Those skills that are not being taught outside of Miami-Dade County Public Schools, right?
And if I may,
Go ahead.
Martha,
Absolutely.
I wanted to add as well.
Yes.
If you go to Southwest Senior High School, you'll notice that in one of the rooms in particular, we have a ticker, like the actual stock ticker. And it has the green, it has the red, it has the talks that go up and down. So in the theme of relevancy, I was going to pass it back over to Miss Davidson because I know our kids have the stock market competition.
Mm-hmm.
And you talk about a full investment in mathematics, technology, profits, losses, and our kids are so invested thanks to Miss Davidson, Mr. Ramirez. So I was going to kindly ask Miss Davidson if she can share about at Southwest Senior High School what that stock market challenge looks like and what it does for our students.
Sure. So real quick, we had 2 international qualifiers through the DECA stock market game. So they're working on that
is so amazing. Let me just say that is so exciting because I've been in those classrooms and I've seen the ticker and the kids are like raising their hands and everybody's yelling and basically simulating, right, the stock market.
Yep, they're managing a $100,000 portfolio with stocks, bonds, and mutual funds.
Wow.
And I got to tell you, I myself, I like to see what they're hunting for because sometimes I add it to my own personal portfolio.
That's so cute. That's amazing.
Richard and Mikey, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's really great.
They explained to me, they said, Mr. B, I was able to take $1,000 and turn it into tenfold into 10,000.
Wow.
And it's interesting because you start to think, wow, had I invested maybe just a little
just
bit in
a
that,
little bit.
had I known, if I knew back then
what I know now, what they're teaching me now, right? Because we're learning from students.
Amazing students and just amazing role models. Miss Davidson, Mr. Ramirez, extremely proud. And speaking of Barbara Goleman, it sounds like in the North, your best choice in the North, Barbara Goleman. In the South, your best choice is Southwest Senior High School.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about technology. And we're already talking about technology now, but at Southwest, the newest magnets that you have, right, is artificial intelligence and data science. And when you say that to parents are like, oh, AI, right? And I think it's important, right? And I don't want to steal your thunder, right? But I think it's important to be able to educate our listeners and our viewers and our parents that AI is a tool that can be used, right? So can you elaborate a little bit about that magnet program, that strand, and how it would benefit our students?
Absolutely. And I'm here on behalf of Ms. Lasso and Rudy Perez. I do have a few notes that they gave me in particular, but I'll say first, as a principal walking into this classroom, I want to dispel the thought that kids are on like a chat GPT or something of that nature. On the contrary, they're actually programming. There's a programming language called Python that they're using. There's so much of the project-based learning that's going on, and everything is very ethical. So our teachers do a great job of making sure that the ethics component is talked about. But this is critical thinking at its best. It's project-based learning. I know that the students they use the AI to generate codes that can be incorporated into their programming projects. And similar to Barbara Goleman, we're extremely proud to have partnered with the University of Florida, and our kids as well can take dual enrollment classes where they earn 6 credits from the University of Florida, which is where Miss Davidson graduated from after Southwest. And we're very proud to offer that to our students as part of the magnet of our artificial intelligence.
And it's great that you say that, because I think as a parent, right, you start thinking about artificial intelligence and you're like, oh, my child is sitting there getting all the answers,
Right.
right? And not learning, right? But I think it's important for our parents to know that Miami-Dade County Public Schools really is putting forth maximum effort to provide these guardrails in K-12 and ensure that our students are able to utilize this tool, right? That as adults we all use too, right? Use these tools ethically and responsibly, right, for their learning. And I know that Southwest just launched Gemini for teens, right? Can you talk to us a little bit, Mary or George, about that experience and what you saw when we actually launched it at your school?
It's pretty amazing. So before I turn it over to Miss Davidson, what I saw was so much opportunity. As a former math teacher, I remember the unit circle. You draw it on the whiteboard. It was all by hand. But an example with the Gemini for Teens is now the unit circle comes to life. You see the cosine, the tangent, and again, I think it's important to put into the perspective. My daughter's an 11th grader. I was just talking to Miss Davidson and Laura about her, and she was born in 2007. So think about that. Our current juniors were born in 2007. These kids were born in the technology era. 2007 seems like just the other day. So ensuring that our teachers really incorporate the technology. And I think that the Gemini for Teens is going to be an incredible opportunity. Again, why is Dade County Public Schools your best choice? Because we're putting it in the hands of our high school kids in a positive fashion where critical thinking is still part of the use in that technology.
Absolutely.
Ms.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of our magnet programs that we offer do offer that for our students, right? Provide them with those soft skills that are going to make them marketable and open up those doors of opportunities for them when they graduate or from high school, right? You want to elaborate a little bit about Gemini for Teens?
Sure. I know that when it was rolled out at our school, our students just loved it. The feedback that we got after using the tool, it's something that can work for them as a tutor. You know, when they can't contact their teacher and they're working on their homework, you know, at home after school, and maybe they can't afford a tutor. It's a tool that they're learning to use now that they can also take with them into the workforce in the future, and it's going to help make them more competitive.
Exactly. And just to give an example, you put I'm not sure how to solve this equation. It doesn't just give you the answer.
Correct.
It gives you step by step on how to tackle that question, right? Or how to solve that equation. And I know we said we launched it because we actually selected, right, specific schools to launch it, but it's district-wide, right? I'm sure at Barbara Goleman, they're using it too. It's really district-wide for our high school students. So to tap into that, and for our educators too, right? It's important for us to know that, you know, we do have Gemini for our educators and our teachers to guide them and give them that another perspective on how to develop their lessons and how to incorporate different, you know, project-based learning activities within their own classroom for those designated lessons that they're doing. So can you tell me a little bit, I'm going to ask both schools, tell me a little bit about what you think magnet programs, why are they important in your school from the student's perspective?
I'll start, Laura, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
So it's opportunity at its best. I think that at Southwest Senior High School, if you're passionate about finance, business, stock market, mathematics, that magic comes together in Miss Davidson's class. We have a big push of kids not being late to class, and the kids are always early to Miss Davidson and Mr. Ramirez's class because they're engaged and it's very fulfilling. The beautiful thing about the magnet programs at Southwest, I go back to the word relevancy. It's something very relevant to the kids.
That's right.
And as long as you can bring the relevancy and connect it to real world and connect it to post-secondary, how can they use this into the future? It's a winning combination.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to add on that. I'm going to say we have this huge belief in magnet because we believe that magnet programs really do transform lives. There are no boundaries in Goleman. We're a little bit different. We're not an area school. That means that we have kids that come in from everywhere. And we're an interest-based magnet. That means that there are no barriers to entry, even academically, into coming in to Goleman. So we feel that magnet programs don't just educate kids, they also empower you. They build confidence. They give you real world experience. With our programs in particular, since we do have 8 different ones, they build confidence through leadership. You get hands-on. Obviously, we're talking about project-based learning. We're talking about the Gemini. You're talking about AI. In our cyber program, we have kids that learn ethical hacking. We have a server on site that was quite an issue for us to get because kids were attempting to hack into Miami-Dade County Public Schools. So we had to have a separate server put in. Internships. All of our students have the opportunity. I know Southwest does too. They start internships in the 9th grade. So they're able to walk out of high school with potentially
That career experience
3
as well.
paid internships with college credit and that experience that's completely relevant into their careers.
That's really great. So in one word, right? Can you tell me what pulls your students to your school? What is that magnet pull that draws them in one word each? George.
Opportunity.
You stole mine.
Mary.
So I'm going to go with fun.
Fun.
Yeah.
That's amazing because I love when students are having fun. They're more engaged. They learn better.
Results.
That's great. I haven't heard those two, but I really love them because it's true. I mean, the more fun that they're having, the more, engaged they are, the more learning they are doing and better prepared for opportunities. So I agree. I wholeheartedly agree because they're reaping the benefits in our programs that they're going to receive when they graduate. So thank you all for joining me today. It's really been a great conversation. A big thank you to our listeners and our viewers, as well as Miami Community News for affording us this platform to bring our magnet stories to our listeners and our communities throughout Miami-Dade County. As a reminder, both Barbara Goleman as well as Southwest Miami Senior High Schools are both magnet programs, and you have to apply in order to go into those respective amazing programs that they do offer. Our magnet application window opens October 1st. And closes on January 15th. And this is March, so March 15th, the magnet lottery results will go out to our parents. If you did not apply during our window, do not worry. We're going to offer a second opportunity for our families to apply. We open our open seat magnet application on April 15th for all of these parents that are still wanting to become part of our magnet family. And our doors are open to each and every one of you. I encourage you to visit miamimagnets.org and explore many of our magnet programs out there. We have 119 schools, 399 magnet programs. There is a magnet program for every student in Miami-Dade County Public School. And that is it for today's episode. Stay drawn to what inspires you, and we'll see you next time on The Magnet Pull.